Little Father's Day garden update. I built another box there. I've got some lettuce growing, and I've only planted half of this box. So lettuce here. I've got what did I get in there? Spinach. I think I planted. Oh, carrots. That's right. Carrots. A couple rows of carrots. And there's a weed over here. Garlic, carrots, maybe some spinach. I don't remember now. Been about a week. But this is all garlic transplanted from over there. And right now I'm just using overhead watering. This is onions, and I've got spinach and garlic, spinach. These are purple bells that I transplanted like a month ago, and they haven't grown hardly at all, but they're still alive. And more garlic. These are cantaloupe through here. All of those are cantaloupe. This one random garlic, I think. These are all my cantaloupe transplants died, and that cantaloupe is all from seed, as you can see. And then this is all spaghetti squash over to here, and this is watermelon. My transplants all died, and then that is from seed. Over here in this first bed, since it's a lot more full, I have pumpkin that I transplanted, pumpkin from seed right here, and these are from here over is cantaloupe to not cantaloupe. From here over is cucumber. From there to there, then that is squash over there. And I was thinking it was vining, and it looks like it's not vining, so I have those super close together because I was thinking they were going to vine. They're like 3 inches apart. And I have onions through there, tomatoes in the center. I'm going to end shot, and it's easier to see. It's organized this way. Because I have large plants in the center, I did my rows lengthwise instead of side to side there. So I have 2 rows of garlic through here. You can see one row here, the other row here. And here I have radish, row of radishes. And then this last row here, this is spinach. Half of it is spinach. And then there you can see where it changes to lettuce. And I've I planted that thick so that we can just harvest and continue to eat, grow, and keep it cycling. And then I've cut some of the suckers, or I planted some of the suckers, larger ones there, from these. And there's a lot of suckers. But I like to grow tall tomatoes, so that's how I'm rolling here. Some of these suckers, you can see I just stuck them in the ground. Doing totally fine. I'm not worried about how close together they are, because like those are 6 inches apart. Those are about 8 or 10 inches apart. And it's about the same between that sucker and this one. And over here, those ones are starting to take. But I'm letting these flower as well, and I'm going to eventually get these trellised through the center. I'm just going to do it the same as I have left these support boards. I'm going to take some of these, screw them in to the side on either end, and do a floater weave, probably. But probably do that in a few days because I am pretty busy for the next few with work. I've got my mega parsley here sprawled out and seeding, and I am going to, so that one overwintered totally fine. It's green pretty much all winter through everything. And as we get in here, we can see the smaller one surviving underneath it right there. And gonna make sure that that one lives. I can pull off that big one, that's fine, I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna pull it out anyways, probably send it with my brother next time he comes, and might keep the little one or send it with him. I don't know, we don't use a ton of parsley. That's more than we'll use. Then this is my thornless raspberry bush from my mom. Thank you, Mom. I'm super excited for it. Already getting some berries on there. This is spaghetti squash that I sprouted for my brother. Those are a bunch of weeds. These are green onions. I'm going to leave that one to seed since I cut the rest off. I might leave that one too. Right there. And that flower. Because this I just trimmed back and I put in omelets and such. I'm planning on making more beds, so I've got my grass clippings that I have as the base. So these beds I filled all the way to the like an inch below the top, and they've all settled to the way you see them now. As that bedding base has compacted under the weight of the compost and water. In here I have my 3 transplant zucchinis that are finally doing okay. I've got some garlic thrown in, transplanted, and that blew over and ended up being just fine. As you can see, it's still green. I was going to correct it, but I realized that the roots had taken root and they're doing just fine, so I'm going to leave them. And these are Walla Walla sweet onions that are the onions in there. Over here, these are some yellow onions planted around a pineapple top from the supermarket, and hopefully that'll take. I don't know, but we'll just find out. We'll see if that, it looks like it's growing new leaves in there. Sorry, trying to show you. I know it's dying from the top down, from the ends toward the center, and I did set that in water for a few days, in and out of water for a few days before I had the chance to come out and put it out here because it was super cold and raining and I was working a bunch, so it just wasn't happening. But that's, if it happens and grows, awesome. If not, I'm not worried about it. I'll get another from the store eventually and do the same thing. And I'll just pull the weeds out as I go by if I see them. From this angle, you can kind of see more of that green. It's carrots. Those rows are carrots. This is lettuce. And I planted something there that is starting to sprout, and I don't entirely recall what it was. Probably spinach or something. I don't know. But it's there. Oh, I think it's basil, actually. That's right. Pretty sure it's basil. Half a row of basil. We'll see how that does. We use a lot of basil, so if it grows, great. If not, we'll plant some more. I've got some seeds from previous year's harvest. But I'm just really excited to see some of these seeds germinate, and especially the cantaloupe. It's a lot of cantaloupe, and I will happily eat all of it. The watermelon down there. This will be our first year doing watermelon since I was a kid. Spaghetti squash, these are all from seeds from previous harvest for the spaghetti squash. So, and I learned that my wheelbarrow is watertight because that's from a mix of rain and sprinkler water. And we did have some berries, some strawberries to harvest. So here's the garlic that I have yet to transplant or eat. Here's the comfrey. A lot of benefits of comfrey, both medicinally and for other garden uses. And we start with the berries. Now, here is what last year I had a harvest that was maybe 1/8 of a cup. Now these are slow according to last year. These are a late harvest raspberry. And they have a tiny berry, which you can kind of get an idea from these tiny flowers that are opening. It's really small. But this is 100 times more than I had last year. So I am amazed by what I'm seeing here. And then onto this more traditional raspberry that is next to it. You can see that, ooh, got some that are ready to harvest even. Look at that. It's a little bit green. One side is totally ready, the other side's a little bit green. Doesn't readily come off, so I'm just gonna leave it. Looks like I've got aphids. I also have ladybugs, so hopefully that'll help. Tart but good. Wasn't quite totally ripe. It was partially ripe, but I'll take it. This is a lot more berries than last year. Last year was the second year for these plants being in the ground. And they are loaded. And so all these berry plants went in the ground the same time 2 years ago. 3 years ago? 2 years ago. This is the second year for them being in the ground. That's right. And so last spring I put them in. And so these have just grown tremendously, as well as you get down there, you see those larger white flowers over to the orange strawberry barrel, and everything between here and the corner are blackberries. They're thornless blackberries, and they have just gone nuts. It's awesome. So you can see a little crossover here between the raspberries and the blackberries growing together. I need to get some sort of a retention wall going on. But right back there you can see that raspberry that's looking yummy. Let's see. Yeah, it's not quite ready all the way either, so I'm just gonna leave that. But these are gonna start getting ripe here. Ripe enough to have for breakfast, probably this week. And from then, we just have to keep picking them so that we can keep having them. And they'll be a wonderful, healthy addition to our daily diets. And those blackberries are amazing. Super happy with those. And because I haven't taken care of this yet, I'm gonna walk around and get to the other side. Over here you can see how these blackberries have just really filled the space in. And they're coming out. That's 5 feet away from the wall. And I'm gonna have to dig some of these that are way over here out and send them with my brother's transplants and control some of these starts in like that so that they can be gaining nutrients from that location. That's what I did here, you can see. So here you can see some of those strawberries. I filled this also up, way up to an inch or two from the very top, and look how it's compacted down. It in the last year or so, this went way down. You can see the white here is where I had it filled to, and it's gone just crazily down as the soil, gardening soil or potting soil and compost that I bought from the store has compacted over this time. And so I'll have to fill that up, and I just want to take care of these plants first, get the harvest that's going on right now before I have to pull those out and replant them at a higher level so that we can have more access to them rather than having them down where they just fill with spiders. So you can see how they are just full of spider webs. So as I come around here, you can see the blackberries, you can see the strawberries coming through. Sit it right over there where they have a little more access. So you can see more. Lost a lot of what I originally planted, but still have enough to harvest, and they are they're a little sweeter than they were last year. The ones that we've harvested. They definitely got the little girl stamp of approval from my daughter. She devoured what I took inside the other day from out here, and she's a pretty good eater though, so she likes a lot of fruit. There you can see how tall that is. That's a 6-foot wall, and the blackberries are already going over it. So if you have any experience with blackberries, I don't, so please leave me a comment and advice. Should I just guide them to fold over? Should I top them? What is the most fruit productive way to help take care of these plants, in my stewardship of them? So I appreciate that advice, and look forward to continuing to share my garden with you as it provides a healthy source of our family's diet. Thank you for joining me, and if you have any questions about any of the random stuff you see in the background, I can tell you about which project that is. Just leave me a comment. Thanks, and happy Father's Day to everybody.